Howdy, folks. Time for us to do a breakdown session with my favorite artist in the world, Joy Frost. So, Authenticity, the first hit off this eventual world-renowned, famous album that everyone's going to love. Before we dive into the music, hi, Joy, by the way. Thanks for being here. Let's talk about the song. I'd like the audience to know, what's the basis. I mean, there's some very deep lyrics in here, and I've shared this with a few friends, on the down low, and some lyrics really resonated with them. So tell me, I guess, where this song came from, what your intent is, any Easter eggs or surprises. Tell me about the song.
Well, this song, I feel, is the most difficult song that I ever wrote. I had to rewrite it like 3 different times in 3 different years.
Wow.
Because I just wanted to write a song about everything bad that I ever did. Any
This is like a confession song.
basically,
Okay.
this song is everything I was ever worried that anybody would ever find out about me. I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna write a song about how horrible I am.
You're not horrible.
That's the song.
You're not horrible. My God, you're one of the sweetest people I know, for crying out loud. Oh my goodness. So there's some good stuff in here, some great lyrics in it. So if you're relatively new to the Paul and Joy show here, I've been working with Joy for just over a year now. We hit our collaboration last month, but Joy's been working on this project for a couple of years, and this is our first breakdown video of her single that's getting released June 28th.
Right.
I guess before...
And today we're filming this. What day is today?
Today's the 14th, so it's 2 weeks from today. Today's Friday.
Yeah, June 14th, 2024. So
Right.
nobody's heard this record. Nobody cares yet.
This is true, but they will.
I hope so.
We talk about the origins of the project, etc., in my interview video with Joy. This will be out sometime soon. I'll put a link in the description eventually when we get our stuff together. But the goal of this video is to kind of break down the song from what I got, what we made it into, and open the kimono, show you all the stuff inside, the effects, the patches I used, the mixing techniques, and working with Joy the past year, I've learned a ton about myself, about logic, about producing, because forever I've been a musician. I got into producing a few years ago, but this has been a lot of fun. I've learned a ton, and Joy makes it so much.
You're fabulous.
We love each other. It's great. It's a great collaboration. Collaborations are like dating, and this is like a wonderful musical marriage, in my opinion. So that being said, let's start how we create the song. So Joy, how did you write this one? Did you lyrics first, melody first, piano? What did you do at the beginning?
Well, what's interesting is actually I harvested a message that I wrote to an artist I like. I sent a DM to this artist in Ireland. His name is Dermot Kennedy, because he posted something on his story back in 2020, and he was just made something about authenticity that just really triggered me and made me mad. I'm just so I sent him this long message, just asking for some advice about authenticity. He never replied to me, but this message is actually most of the lyrics of the song.
Okay.
But I didn't know I was writing this song. I just was writing a message about authenticity, and then I thought to myself afterwards, I'm like, maybe that's a song. And so I tried to write it one way, and it was okay, but I just didn't like it, so I left it for a while because I just thought it was supposed to be something a bit more fun, because it just felt so heavy in my heart that I wanted to create a little bit of to kind of cushion that a little bit with the musicality, so it didn't feel so sharp to me. And I'll play you the original demo of it at the end, which is completely different.
Okay, look forward to that.
What we have here. So I left it, I abandoned it until I got inspired again, because it never makes any sense to me to push it. If you're not inspired, move on. And then you'll get inspired later if it's meant to be. If not, it's meant to be not to be. Eventually I got inspired again. I'm like, okay, let's try it. So I sat at the piano and I reused all the lyrics that I'd already written, and I came up with the melody afterwards. That's how this specific song came to be.
Got it. So it started as like a rant, and then turned into
Yeah.
a song, and then you set the piano for this particular one.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then, so let's just play a little. We call these bones. Joy will send me bones. Here's what I'm thinking, and then go, and then I'll run with it based on her guidance, and I'll throw out ideas. We'll share ideas, see what sticks. So let's just
Before
start.
you play on this, so like when I'm so
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's okay. I'm like such a control freak from hell about my vocals. But when I send the bones and I just do the vocals, I call them like vocal nudes because that's honestly like how I feel.
Yeah,
So
you're naked. These are
Yeah.
raw, unedited.
they're not
Yeah.
tuned, they're not comped, they're just nothing. So they
It's a
shall never be
sketch.
leaked.
It's a sketch. Yeah, this is just. We're not gonna play the whole thing. Just gonna
Don't leak my
show you
nudes.
what I started with. Yeah.
Thank
So.
you.
How much more open do I need to be? Is it still honesty?
I mean, they're fine,
If
but-
I
That's that. And so we got some stuff here. I mean, what do we got here?
can a sinner be
So a little triplet feel here. So that's what we get. I got this piano and vocal, and I think the original audio file you sent, which I can't find, also had a bass part, if I
Yes.
remember correctly. So
Yes.
that's what we start with, and now I'm going to close this out and see if I blow up my Mac because I'm running two projects at once. This is the before, and poof. No, I don't want to save. This is the after. So here we go. So now I get the whole track
Way
as
cooler.
it loads up all my colors. Folks that watch me regularly know that my drums are red, my basses are blue, my melodics are purple, and then because Joy's voice is money, her line is green. So green for money in America. Joy is in Ireland. What color is the cash over there? Is it different colors?
It's different colors depending on
gotcha.
which bill it is.
There you go. A little more artistic variety in European currency. So let's just start for a second here. Right there. We'll see what we got. We'll do a little playing here.
authenticity?
I love this one.
Count of the lines across the friends are lost and what it cost me.
So lots of stuff going on here. And if you look from left to right, you'll see that there's a few things at the beginning, and then we get more and more layers as we go further and further right.
It gets more and more cinematic and more rock and roll. At
Yes.
the same time.
Well, this
is
is
what I love.
definitely hybrid. So I mean, our dream is to get some recognition for this album, and there's a category for the Grammys called hybrid jazz or hybrid something. This is
Alternative jazz.
Alternative jazz. Yeah, this is very
I
hybrid.
never felt so represented by two words put together.
There you go, alternative jazz. You're an alternative person, and you love jazz. So you'll see I've got 41 tracks. It's really 40 because we have two versions of the track. We have dirty and we have clean or Mormon. So this is Joy's first F word song, and so we kept this clean because it's going back to.
I'm like, it's so boring to just call it clean version, radio version. Like
I
this
could have
is so
said like
boring.
I could do this here. We could call it that if you want.
Oh my
or-
gosh. I could have called it Mom Stream This One. That was another option.
Yeah, mom's version. There we go. I like that. We're gonna do that. Mom version.
I might do that one next time.
There we go. Okay, for clarity, we'll just call it. This is the clean one, not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one swear in the whole darn thing. But for Joy, that's a big deal. This is her first F-bomb, so this is cool. So you see, I've got 40-ish tracks.
It's
Producers
only
do.
a big deal because I'm an ex-woman from Utah.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
she's
it's like it's not a big deal, but to me, it's existential.
it's like a serious, paradigm shift.
Like the biggest rebel who ever lived. So stupid.
You are searching for your bad bitch vibes.
Oh
Yes.
God, I'm still searching. Still
Still searching. You wear black. You got the piercings. You got everything. You're trying your best, but some things. People say you're sweet, and you don't know why. That's just
Oh my God. Oh
like
my
that.
God.
So
You're so silly.
I try. This is how Joe and I work. We just have fun together. Collaborations. Just a little sidebar. If you're in a bad collaboration, just get out of it. Stop. Say, hey, it's
Yeah.
not working. Move on. Don't waste
Yeah.
time.
Definitely agree
And
with that.
I've collaborated with over 50 people. I think it's 53, 54 now. And Joy, no offense to anyone else, but Joy is at the very top. She's my diva. Mine. You can't have her. So there. We've got a single vocal, one with a slight edit. Now,
Yeah.
you thought
Oh,
about
yeah.
background vocals before,
Yes,
right?
I did. I even had created harmonies for it, and they sounded awesome. But then I was thinking to myself, you know what? This doesn't make any sense. Because I mean, I don't necessarily agree with everything that songwriter Pat Patterson says, but there's one thing that he talks about. He taught songwriting at Berklee College, and I took one of his classes. He was talking about the element of prosody, which basically means that everything needs to align with the energy. So if you're singing a sad song, it's not prosody to have an upbeat, fun track. That's more irony. Prosody is when it all matches.
Huh.
And so I'm just thinking about that concept, and with the word authenticity, to have all these comped extra layers, it just isn't authentic. The most authentic way to perform would just be one voice.
That's right.
So
that's right.
that's why
and we
there's
kind of
no
start that
doubles.
way at the beginning. No doubles, no nothing. This is it. This is just we got some comps, we did some edits to fix some syllables and things. But this is,
I want to say one more thing too.
sure, of course.
So like the other thing that I really like is, I mean, some of the songs I have stacks of harmonies, but I wanted to have, because in the olden days, in the old jazz, it was also just one voice. And there wasn't doubles, there wasn't harmonies. It was just the one singer. And so I think that's also kind of brings in the theme of the roaring 2020s, blending the old school with the new school, sometimes having that pop production with a single voice that is a strange juxtaposition, because you don't really do that anymore.
Right. That's for sure.
I wanted to try that with this.
This is awesome. Joy's got a lot of love for music from the 20s and 30s, and the album's called the Roaring 2020s, and so we're 100 years later. She gets to live in the 20s, so there's a lot of tips of the hat to history and tradition, etc. Yeah. But we kept this real simple. I mean, every track has a purpose. There's only 40 of them. Some people go crazy with tons of stuff. They add a track for every little thing. I like to keep things clean so I can see stuff. My OCD making it happy. I want to see everything on screen if I can. You look at some Jacob Collier stuff, 400 tracks, 600 tracks, 800 tracks.
I would just die, and so would my CPU.
Exactly. My machine, I don't know what he does, but it's amazing he can even open those. He's such a, anyway.
He's great.
Collier's a prodigy. I love him. I found him years ago when he was not very popular. And
I know you're a big fan.
I'm a huge fan, absolutely. So let's talk about what we're doing here. Let's just look at the vocals. We'll start here. Well, shoot. Let's just play a little bit. Let's start with that.
So when I send you the vocals, it's already tuned. I tune my vocals myself, and I already comp it. But then there's no compression, no EQ. I do add a D-click because I'm very self-conscious about my mouth noises. So that's it. It's just tuning, comping, D-click. Otherwise, nothing. And so you can do the rest of the effects on your end.
And then we listen 8 million times, and you're like, I don't like the way that C came out, or that S is too whatever. And so you'll see some edits in here or there. But Joy's got an amazing ear, and my ears generally suck from an acoustic perspective. I'm mostly deaf in my right ear. I've got massive tinnitus. I've got lost upper frequencies as well from fevers as a baby. So we'll be playing something, and then Joy will stop, and she'll hear something. I don't hear it at all. I sometimes can't hear triangles or shakers or hi-hats, depending on the instrument tuning. But Joy will hear stuff, and we have this trust, which is fantastic. I love it, that she hears something. I can't hear it, but she'll find it, and then we'll fix it. And sometimes I'll give Joy control of my computer. I'll say, take over the mouse. She's in Ireland, I'm in Texas, so I can give her control.
It's so much fun when we do that.
Well, it blows my mind. I mean, the first time I ever saw that happen, it was a long time ago. It was 1998, and I was working at a company called EDS, and I was in Plano, Texas, north of Dallas, and I was controlling a computer remotely in Australia. In 1998, that blew my mind. I eventually got to go there to be on the other side of it because I had to fix some stuff that I couldn't do remotely. But that's the first time I saw that. But now with the internet bandwidth the way it is and computers the way they are, I could just say assign mouse control, and then Joy will grab it and click in and lean in, and then I just sit back and watch what she's doing, and she said, "Yeah, exactly. Click, click, click," getting right in there.
Oh my gosh.
It's greatness. So she can fix things that I can't hear, and then she can fix things the way she wants them on her vocals. For the most part, I'm doing most of the driving. So let's just start. I mean, let's just see what we got, and then we'll kind of see what to talk about.
How much more open do I need to be? Is it still honesty if I keep a little for myself?
So that's just a basic, we got this wonderful upright bass. Tell us about our bass player.
Yes, so the bass was in place like 2 years ago. This is the very first, I guess this is kind of the first song I actually started working on this album. And I just kind of got stuck at a certain point because my musicianship can only take me so far. So I wrote in 6/8 time, I did the piano, I hired the bass player. He's fantastic. His name is Ruslan. He lives in Kiev. And he recorded this for me just a few weeks before the war began. So we started working prior. And when that happened, later, I'm like, okay, how can I support you? Do you need me to like give you space and disappear so that you can just focus on,
Surviving.
Yeah. like,
Little things.
What do you need from me right now? Because I love working with you, but this is something else. And so do you need work? Do you need the opportunity to work? Is it going to be fun for you to do music, or do you want to just stop? You just tell me what your needs are and I'll support you and I'll let you go. He's like, no, I want to work. I want to make music anyway. I'm like, okay. So I hired him I don't know, 20 times. I only work with him. He's the only bass player I'll ever hire if I can.
He sounds fantastic. He does a great job.
He's so great. I don't have to tell him anything. I just send it to him and I just say, just do your thing. And then he does this thing and it's perfect.
It's wonderful when you find musicians that get what you say and are self-sufficient and can give you quality. That's how you make yourself valuable.
Such an ear, such a passion. It's just fabulous. I completely trust him 1,000%. So this is what he did. It was our first collaboration, and it's the first time I fell in love with him.
Nice. So it's right now at the beginning. It's just I took your piano and I re-recorded it. We did the triplets right from the beginning. So let's open the piano and see what we got here. This is my favorite piano, Native Instruments Noire. It's a fantastic piano. It does a bunch of neat stuff. Now, this was our first track together.
Wait, was it?
Was it the first one? I believe it was.
I thought Weed Smokers was our first one.
Maybe Weed Smokers was. Weed Smokers Dream? What? I have to go back and look and see.
I can't remember anymore.
I know. We've done 9. The project has 20 tracks. I've been involved with 9 of them. But with Joy's voice, I'm like, okay, I got this great piano. I love it. It's noir. It's got all these cool things. It's got this particle engine, and it does this neat stuff. So let me turn it on. And here's what I gave.
Particle engine.
This is what I gave Joy originally. So it was. Let's solo that here. Let's try it again.
Makes it
I might
crazy.
have turned it down a bit.
Yeah, that's more intense than what you sent me.
But it's got these echoes. There's all sorts of great things. I don't know if I did a breakdown video of Noire a year or two ago. This is just a fantastic tool. But anyway, I thought a chance to use that for Joy. And she's like, no, don't like it. I turned it down. She's like, no, I don't like it. So I turned the damn thing off. So now...
I'm like, oh, that's great.
That's cute, Paul, but no. So we grabbed some...
I just like it to sound real, like the real world.
Well, you had that piano you shared with me, a Magirio piano. We tried that.
Yes, Imagerio. I love that one.
That's a great piano. And we used that on some other tracks for sure, but this one was Noire. And so you can see the EQ I did. I chopped off a lot on the top, chopped off some bottom as well. Joy likes things dry,
and dark,
exposed, raw, naked, I guess we could say. Very dark. And her voice is dark, and she's got a great range, but it's breathy. It's not a ton of reverb, and you're not a fan of delay at all.
No.
She loathes the delay.
I hate it. Oh no, my taste is I just like things dark and dry, like my humor, like my laundry.
There you go. So we have we did the EQ, and then we put some compression on there.
I can't go.
No, it's okay. No, that was fine. So I'm using I don't know what Studio Fet. I don't know what compressor. There's my settings on the compressor for the piano. It's just a little subtle thing there. So we got that, and then Ruslan comes in. And then we added some beef to the bass later.
Oh, I love what you did with
later
this.
On there, yeah. So we've got that, and so the bass is happening here.
How much more
that's it's a wave file.
It's just piano, bass, vocal.
Yep.
It's standard jazz trio.
Yep. But hybrid, modern.
With my favorite reverb.
Oh yeah, your reverb. We didn't look at your. I didn't talk about your stuff here. So we've got. Let's see, we'll go with the space designer first here. The reverb. So reverb here, and this was a slightly different thing for us. We got a 13 millisecond pre-delay.
That's
usually
bigger than usual.
Yeah, you like 4 milliseconds. But yes, we tweaked. This is a Church Tower. This is Joy's favorite reverb.
Yes.
Church Tower,
It's just a
4.9
Logic
second.
reverb.
Straight, yeah. Folks, there's a lot of great tools in stock Logic. You don't need to go crazy buying plugins. Logic's got a lot of great stuff. We added Vocal Writer, the Joy Writer. This is a cool thing. I use this. I had Bass Writer for other projects years ago, and it basically you set your levels and it kind of. I'll just play and we'll show you. Let's do the solo.
It's great because this song,
Sure, I
really
put on display.
recording
Would
this.
it still be okay?
Game
it's kinda like it-
was a nightmare because my
Oh, it is.
microphone was dying.
It was.
I think this is the last song I ever finished recording with that microphone.
With Molly Malone, the microphone.
This is the last piece.
Oh, what's a great track though. So I've got some automation here for some volume. We bring some stuff in, but in general, the Vocal Writer is. You can see it. It's kind of like compression, but a little different.
Great.
And it's great. We got a track where you have like 8 or 10 background vocals. I got on all those, and they're all doing their thing. Wonderful tool. A little bit of EQ. What we're doing here, we took some high end, a couple of dips here or there. You were very specific. This might have been a section where I might have given you control, or I did it based on your ear. And we learned
Because my S plosive is always at 84 and
Yeah.
63, 62.
62.5, something like that.
Yeah.
So we learned that, and I don't know if this was a recent addition, but for most of this project the past year, poor Joy was listening to everything in mono because we were
Oh
going
my gosh,
through,
right.
through
So we
Zoom.
do it on Zoom. We do it on Zoom, and then
Yes.
I only hear a mono mix. I can't hear stereo until you bounce it out and email it to me, and I listen to it when we're not even on the call anymore.
Right.
So I heard the entire album in mono.
Yes.
I didn't even hear it in stereo. I'm
And then like a month or
I'm
two
sure
ago,
it's
we
great.
found
I
this
trust
feature. We found this feature in Zoom to enable, quality audio. I don't know where I saw that. I'm like, oh my god! And now Joy can hear things panning left and right and from across the ocean.
It's also very 1920 to hear a mono mix.
And I do a lot of work in mono because
Yeah.
mixing a mono is a great way to get a good solid mix. And like I said, mostly gone in this year, so I'm naturally mono by default for the most part.
Oh, don't be silly.
It's interesting. So I'm naturally mono.
You
So
never
what
said
else
that
do we
joke
have in
before.
here? We had we did some D-Click, I think, repair. The
Probably.
RX10. I bought RX10 specifically for you because I didn't have this little bundle. And it's got a DS, a D-Click, just a little touch of.
I'm
8%
very
reverb.
sensitive about de-essers. I don't like them very much. I don't like them. I mean, what do we have on there? 10%?
10%.
Oh my gosh, never go higher than 15. Like, I can't bear it. Because as soon as it starts to sound fake, like processed,
Yep.
it drives me crazy.
And you got denoise as well. So, and D-Click a little bit over here as well. Looks like
I mean, maybe I can sometimes overdo it on the tuning just because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but that's the only processing that I like to really go to town on.
Let's
with
just try
voice.
something. Let's just go to the chorus and do it. I'll turn it off and on real quick here. So here's your chorus soloed.
Necessity. I've lost count of the lines across the friends
Let's try it
of
again,
lost. Necessity.
A little less crispy.
I've lost count of the lines across the friends
It's just
of
really
lost.
it's really subtle, but
Very
it's there.
gentle.
And I've watched hundreds of music mixing things, and a lot of times I can't hear what they're demoing, and one of the phrases they say will say it's really subtle. So if you can't hear it, it's okay. It's probably there. You just don't notice. It's like drinking bourbon. A lot of folks will drink their bourbon, and I'll say I'm getting caramel and a slight banana, maybe some peanut, and my friends are saying I taste alcohol. It burns. So it's an acquired taste.
My
audio
palate
or
is only developed for red wine, but not for bourbon.
bourbon. That's my thing. I love it. I've got a whole wall of it behind the monitor here. So the vocals, we got a touch of reverb, a little bit of EQ, a little fixing with the RX tools. I now have RX11. Let's get out of my animation.
Yeah, that's it for the voice. That's all. And plus, I tuned it.
Yeah, a little tuning there going in. Ceremony Melodyne, fantastic tool. And then
And
so
I just
halfway
have the
through
most basic version. I have the beginner
whatever
license.
whatever the light or whatever is version.
Yeah, I
you have.
only need mono.
Yeah, we don't use the AR. We don't use the
Protection.
ARA version. ARA, no one trusts the ARA.
Oh God, it's a disaster.
So then we added a kick drum halfway through the verse. Now this is
I call it manual too.
I
'Cause I
don't wanna
go in
let the
by hand,
dark swallow up the light, but don't.
so the kick is really
leave it.
subtle here. Do I start? So and this is my first time of doing this. I mentioned Jacob Collier earlier. I learned a lot from him, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
the
him
stack.
the kick drum stack. So it's not just a kick drum; it's 3 kick drums. Okay, so but this is a stack. So this is my MIDI information here, but there's a 3 sounds I'm triggering, and they are panned left, center, and right. I saw Jacob Collier do this on a track. He had 5 kick drums: hard left, center, half right, hard right. And so what we've got, let's do the first one here, the Zansky. This is your reference. You love Zansky stuff.
I'm such a fangirl.
Zansky, and then Mogul. So Mogul, and now
So
just for
satisfying.
curiosity, did you hear that left and right, or is it centered to
I
you?
did. I mean, now that
works.
we've learned.
Now that you learn. So together, there we go. So there's slightly different tonal frequencies, but it's 3 kick drums together, pan, hard left, hard right, and center, and so it just gives us a thicker sound on the bass drum. It's real subtle. That's the phrase. It's subtle.
I want to tell about the Zansky
Oh, go ahead,
Fool
yeah.
kick. It's from my favorite track of his called Fool. I mean, it's so sexy. All his songs are just so sexy. And I was like on a run in 2020 at Christmas time. And while I was running, I was just listening to that song and I thought to myself, damn, I would die to collab with him and have him produce one of my songs because I just love this kick drum so much. I wish I had this kick drum. And then that night, I got an email from Splice saying that he launched his own collection of samples and he released that drum. And so he's even added me to some of his playlists. He's replied to me on Instagram.
Nice.
I'm like totally fangirling about that.
That's
I always tag him like, I used your drum sample. Like,
well, maybe
such a pick me.
he'll be happy to be at a Grammy-winning album eventually. You know, we can hope. You know, and so speaking of fanboy, so you've got your fanboy kick drum. I've got some
Yes.
fanboy stuff here. Mogul, I'm a music mogul on YouTube. Got a ton of followers. He's a fantastic beat maker, and he's got a sample pack that I use a ton. Before I got with Joy, the majority of my music I create for TV and film is instrumental, and I lean heavily towards hip hop, trap, beats, etc. But I do lots of other stuff. But I learned a ton from Adam. I'm a music mogul, and his sample kit, I jumped all over it, and so I've got a couple of those. I strongly recommend getting. I don't get any residuals or anything, but I'll put a link in the description. He's got great sample packs. So we got the kick drum coming in halfway through the verse. So, like I said earlier, we're starting just small and getting bigger over time, adding more and more stuff, which is a common thing. Now, at the end of the first verse, we bring in a cello motif, and this is not live. We got that later.
oh, this is Tina, right?
This is Tina. Oh, God. Talk about fanboy. I love Tina Guo. Tina Guo is Hans Zimmer's cello player.
She's the
I don't,
baddest bitch.
I don't know if she's even 5 feet tall, but she's just a killer cellist. And you follow her
cool.
on the social. She's fantastic. But this is the Tina Guo cello, and it's a beautiful sounding instrument. So let's play that little bit of that here. And I hope y'all are enjoying this. Joy and I are just talking. And we're supposed to show off the music. So this is fun. I just love this. And let's dive in.
I feel my heart growing dark, but everybody says
That sounds wonderful. Sounds fantastic. We did that, threw that in there, and then I think later on you're like, hey, let's add a real cello. So we did that stuff later on. Now the chorus dives in. We had a bunch of stuff. This week, really
And I
start
forgot
digging.
to have the real cellist play that part, which is
That
why we
one
kept
part
having
there.
it.
I think we might have done that just for minutes, you know.
Yeah.
We get charged by the minute or the second or whatever.
Oh, he's worth every penny.
Absolutely. So we come in. What are we doing here? Move this out of the way a bit. Make this a little taller. So now we've got some stuff going on. Now we start bringing guitar. So it's been voice, piano, bass. And now we bring a bunch of stuff in here. We start getting some hybrid. So we got some clean strumming here, a live musician. So what do we got? Let's just play a little bit of the chorus.
necessity. Have lost count of the lines across the friends I've lost and what it cost me.
So what's going on here musically or orchestrally or arranging wise? So we're picking up that 6/8, that dump 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 feel that Joy implied in the piano that I took, but now we're adding some strings. We added our little psycho strings down here. Why psycho? Because of the Alfred Hitchcock, this thing, that.
Oh, every time we cut out, like.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Just play the psycho strings by themselves.
By themselves. Well, just that one part. That's it. Straightforward. Just little.
We've got high ones and low ones, right?
Yeah, we do. So we've got. So this is Helix. It's actually a free library from Sign. So this is Helix free.
Sorry, Sign, to call them psycho strings, but I love them.
Oh, hey, they're being used and promoted. So, and again, no affiliate links at all. This is just I promote the products I like. So we've got a couple things here. We got this right here, and they add the low ones.
Oh, I freaking love it.
And boom.
Oh,
Sounds great for
chills.
free. I love it. And then we added, but I also added some pads. Now, you're not a pad fan, really.
Nope.
But we added some pads in here. So
it's also the same when it comes to women's products. Or menstrual products. I'm also not a fan of pads. But,
that's what you get for biting the apple, if you believe that. There we go. Okay, got it. So we got Falcon. I learned about Falcon last year from some friends over on my the Sinkhole Discord server. Falcon is like, it competes with Omnisphere, very powerful. And so this is just one sound pack within Falcon. If I go back up here, I got all these sound packs.
I really like that picture.
It's a cool picture. It reminds you of something.
I used to kayak. I used to have a kayak when I lived in the countryside. I mean, now I moved back in Dublin, so I sold it because I don't live by a lake anymore.
Through the city,
yeah. But I would kayak all the time, and I saw the coolest things. I saw shooting stars. It was just great.
It's nice to be on the water and just by yourself, and you're so close to the water. It's really neat stuff.
Yeah.
So
I
listening.
I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 that I saw.
Shooting
while
stars?
I was out. Yeah, like meteors while I was kayaking. I'm like, damn, this is awesome.
It is cool. Let's try it. Let's listen what the Falcon gives me on this one. And more the same, but it's a lo-fi chill thing. The second one. So together, so we combine that with the piano, and then we add the strings. We want to maintain that pulse, but Joy wanted more energy. She likes that. I played this. I figured we played this at the end of the song, and you said no, I want that at the beginning. I didn't bring this the psycho strings, the triplets. You see chorus 3 on the right here. That's where I actually had them
right away.
But you're like, oh, I love this. I'm like, okay, as you wish. Here we go. Boom. And so now we got this. And then we wanted to add a little something. So we added some. We have this real guitar. Well, I'm going to add my synth guitar first. So I added some basic plucking guitars. I'm a huge fan of Orange Tree Samples Evolution Strawberry guitar. I've been using it for several years. It's a wonderful guitar. It's got 3 categories: clean, crunchy, distorted. I think there's Snarly. Snarly's going to come up in a different video, but Snarly's our favorite guitar right now. But in this one, it's catchphrase out of the crunchy category here. Yeah. And we just wanted like a little upbeat thing, so we just did this. So I could have grabbed my Epiphone or my Strat copy or whatever and done that, but it just sounds fine. And if you zoom in on it, important note for the newbies out there, I'm not quantized.
These little details matter.
They absolutely matter. They absolutely do. So they matter. That's how phrases and nicknames are born. So you can see they're not quantized, and this is me replaying. So because I'm thinking when you strum, but you're hitting those 3 strings. So they're there. So now we got all that. And this is when our live guitar player comes in. So
Yes.
I'm going to stop talking for a second. Well, let me play this for a second real quick. Look at this. And we got more of that later. So tell me about our lead guitar player.
Yes, Kate. She is awesome. Kate Swan. She is a listener. She was originally a listener of mine, turned friend. She found me through my collaboration with Lord of the Lost. We sang a song called Dying on the Moon in 2020. And she's like a huge Lostie. And that's the name of their audience. And Frosty's the name of my audience.
I did not know that. Losties and now Frosties. Okay.
I love that so much because I just freaking love Lord of the Lost. But anyway, she's awesome. And she did the guitar for Solitude. And she did the guitar for Why Don't You Do Right. And she did the guitar for Authenticity.
Nice.
So she did 3 of the tracks. And she used 2 different guitars. So she used, I think, a guitar that she named Aurora for the clean stuff, and then she brought in one called Sin for the guitar solo later on in the song, which is awesome.
Never trust a guitar player with just one guitar. They've always got multiple guitars. This is how it works.
Yeah.
So let's play the chorus for a bit with everything in here, because I think we've addressed everybody that's in so far. We got stuff later here, but now first chorus, we've got a pretty full ensemble here. Also added hi-hat.
Oh yeah, would you show the topper?
Yeah, yeah, that's coming up in the next verse.
Oh, is it
So we
right
got
there?
so we got the hi-hat. On this particular track, I didn't play real hi-hat. We did on a different one. So we
What
got
sample do we
hi-hat.
have?
This is here, hi-hat. What do we got here? Oh, this is Superior Drummer. So I'm a huge fan of them as well. And so... so this is the Roots kit. It's an add-on Roots kit. And this is the...
You just remind me of the Little Mermaid with your collection. I got thingamabobs. I got 20. Like, you've got all the plugins.
I've got a lot of plugins, I do. But I invest back in the business, and I own everything I use. Nothing is downloaded from torrent servers. I don't steal. It's all paid for. Be good. Buy your software. Yeah, so this is a Superior Drummer. It's just the Roots kit sounds fantastic. So yeah, so that's that. So we go through the chorus with all this stuff, and so we've kind of gone up in energy. Now we're going to come back down.
Would you show me the snare too?
Oh yeah, what do you got here for snares? We've got a couple different snares.
Do you stack that too?
No. This is just a typical little cymatics. I mean, I spent a relatively lot of money on cymatic samples because they're good. We got a secondary snare here that comes in the verse. So we have this here. 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, and we use that one very sparingly.
Very sparingly, yeah. Just it was an impact. I wanted to give some kick there. So let's go back to beginning of verse 2 now. So everything's full. We've brought the guitars in for the first chorus, the psycho strings, and now we're going to step down a bit. We're keeping the guitars, taking the pads out for a minute, and you'll see psycho strings stay. I add a pad here.
We didn't go into the bass changes for the chorus.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, good point. Thank you for that. So we wanted some more energy. The chorus is always supposed to be bigger than the verse. So I took the bass and I dropped it into a new track and added some guitar rig to it and gave us, I'll solo these two and we'll go to the difference here.
This is so roaring 2020s. To add a sub distortion to an upright bass. Like, I love that. It goes so hard.
I got the bass rider here. Enjoy rider. There's a bass rider.
I love it. What sub did you add on that?
This is just an octaver. Let's pull up the guitar rig. This is another stock thing in Logic, guitar rig. And this is the octaver bass. So we've got this EQ.
I don't think it is. I think it's Native Instruments.
Native Instruments, yeah. Guitar Native Instruments owns, or Guitar Rig comes with Native Instruments, yeah. It's theirs. Let's see.
So Octaver.
Octaver bass with a K. Does that make it German? Octavado? No, Octavado. So yeah, I've got the EQ here, compressor, a little bit of gain, but octaver. So if I let's play just that bass by itself, and then I'll add the octaver back in. Let's come here.
It makes such a difference.
So let's turn it off first. Here it comes. Oh, we chopped it off there, yeah.
So nasty.
So again, subtle fat booty bottom on the bass. And I don't know how well it translates to YouTube, but it's there. And so we're adding thickness adding the booty, and then we bring it back down for verse 2. So now we're back to the
Right.
regular bass. Cycle strings only, add pads, add a second pad, and then we're getting a little busier at the end of the second verse. What do we got? Oh, we're bringing Kate back in.
And to turn the eye, the cheek, I'll give you dirt on me. So don't you come for me. The nice girls always have a vengeful streak. Authenticity.
Ear candy. Always got to have
Oh
some
yeah,
ear candy.
the topper.
The topper. Yeah, oh, that's right. I forgot the topper. We got the topper and the reverse risers. So the
Oh,
reverse
that's what you meant by
riser-
ear candy.
Yeah, there's right. So right before it, I'm sweeping into the next chorus. Very subtle, and there's so much going on. And then let's get back to the topper, which you brought up a couple of times, and I've forgotten a couple of times. So I believe this might be an Apple MIDI topper.
The funny thing is, when I hear it by itself, I hate it.
And that's what toppers do. They add a little bit of, it's like a little seasoning, but it has
Yeah. If you
It's a
played me
swing.
this and told me it was on my song, I wouldn't even ever believe you.
No, it's not there. I mean,
Like, is that my song?
I'll put a spotlight out for everyone.
But now turn it off. It's so incredible what it adds.
If it'll finally set me free.
It takes the life right out of it.
I've been a cheater, been a liar.
it just fills those holes because this is a straight
incredible.
eighth note. This is it has a shuffle feel to it.
And this is all your musicianship. This is all your instinct.
Yeah.
I just surrender entirely to you at this stuff.
And then I run up by it. And if you don't like it, you'll tell me. If you like it, you tell me. It's been great, and we have no problem. We've never, I think you said cross swords. We've done 9
think we
tracks
have.
together. No, we don't. We
And I haven't been showing up in a people pleaser energy either.
yeah, we've gone through various moods, but we've laughed and cried together, and we
yes,
work well
we have.
together. But no, I mean, there's the one thing I wanted to change once was on a different song, a scoop.
Yeah, and feeling good.
And feeling good, yeah. I thought you did something that I thought was a little not as soulful as you are as a musician.
You called it karaoke.
Karaoke, yeah. And
Hey, he was right. You were right.
the two karaoke or two cabaret, as Simon Cowell might have said. But it was
You never know
fantastic.
what's. Oh my gosh.
But that's the one time I was like, I don't want to make Joy
Oh,
mad.
it was fine.
but-
It was the right thing. No, of course.
and that was the only
I
time.
want the song to be great. I don't want to be right. I want it to be good.
You're a diva in the good way. I mean, and you can back it up. You had the voice to be a diva in the first place. And you and I are both perfectionists. You've said more than once
That's why
in the
we're
past.
compatible.
Yeah, you said more than once in the past year, I'm so hard to work with. I'm like, no, you're a perfectionist, and I'm one. I could play a concert, play a 4-hour gig, and play 100,000 notes, and if I miss one note, that's all I'm going to think about. I'm going to be mulling over it for the next week. To be good, you need to focus and expect the best out of yourself and those you work with. And for me, I expect that with my peers. If they don't, they're lazy, they're not working hard enough, they don't care enough. And it can be difficult for those that don't care as much as we do. And that probably triggers somebody, but I don't care.
I call it taking pride. And
Yeah.
I've clashed swords with other collaborators in the past who would get impatient with my revision requests. And they're
got
just
no
like,
problem.
we got to meet the deadline. Like, just let it go. Just like, no, I'm not going to change that for you. And then I would just get so mad, and I would hate the song enough to not even want to release it anymore. Or if I did release it, I would want to take it down because that's how much this stuff matters to me.
Yeah. I think I told you this in the past. Like Barbara Streisand was that way as a teenager. When she was discovered, she was like, no, the song's going to be in this key at that tempo, and that's how it is. And that's just being, knowing how you want it. Now, there's professionalism. You're not going to be a B word for the, or a jerk. Sometimes you have to be strong with some people, but they don't get it. If they don't like it, move on. Like I said earlier, collabs like relationships. If it's not working, just walk away and try to wake up peacefully, but step away. It's a waste of everyone's time. Joy and I both care a ton about every detail. In Steve Jobs' biography, the one that came out after he died, the cover is just his face. He talks about, as a child, either his stepfather or his step-grandfather, he was adopted, was a carpenter, would build cabinets and such, and he'd help, and he'd work on the fit and the finish, making it look pretty, etc. Sanding, I'll make sure the doors close properly, the hinges attached just right. And his father or grandfather would say, make sure you do that on the inside, and some section that you're never going to see, like the underside of the TV bureau or whatever. I mean, he's like, why? They're not going to, the client's, a person's not going to know. And his father said, I will know. And that kind of led to Steve Jobs' obsession on fit and finish. That's why Apple products were so damn great. Yeah.
I love this story. This reminds me of a story with my own father.
Tell me.
Oh my gosh. So I love crocheting. And I'm always crocheting gifts for babies. Everybody else's babies, And maybe I was 12, because I started learning crocheting when I was 11. And then my cousin was born, and I tried to crochet a blanket. It was a big challenge for me, but I kept losing stitches as the rows would continue. And so instead of a square blanket, I made a
pyramid. Okay.
And I thought, shit, this sucks, but maybe I can still give it to them because I'm a kid, and they will still think it's cute. And my dad's like, the fact that you're already thinking like this is not like you can't just get away with it because you're a kid. This isn't good enough. Undo it and do it again. And I was just like, wow, I'm just a kid. I was trying to make a blanket, but I was so glad that my dad said, no, it's not good enough. Why would you want to deliver work that you know in your soul that you're not even proud of? Do it again. And then I made a perfect square blanket, and I have never.
I'll show him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was right.
Yeah.
And I never crocheted a trapezoid ever again. My work is so perfectly perpendicular and parallel now because of that lesson.
That teachable moment. That's awesome. And it matters. And maybe it's been difficult at first, but it matters. Attention to detail matters. I think tools today, technology today can make things so much easier that you can be lazy and gloss over some things. And Joy and I work together, and we care about every little detail. To the point where
it took us so much time to finish this off.
Final version 2 today, version 2 final. Yeah. Everyone, there's T-shirts about that.
This is why I wonder if I'm a nightmare to work with. This is why.
But other folks might think that. I have no problem with it whatsoever. That's why we're so compatible. She cares as much as I do. And have I ever? I gotta think. Be totally honest. Have I ever been frustrated with what you asked for? No, not once. Hours and hours, hundreds of hours together online. Not once have I said, "Damn it, Joy, that's not necessary." No.
I just love it.
It's well. Hopefully, we got a couple more decades of music in us.
I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like, will you change this? You're like, okay. I'm like, oh my god, this is the best.
Here, try this. Yes, try that. We're good.
Oh man, it's so fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I wish all of you could find a collaboration as much as I enjoy this one. Okay, so what do we got? So we got Kate coming in. She did some stuff. We did. She's doing some little strummings here.
Some picking. So I sang it, and I sent her a guide of just me singing what I was hoping she would play, and she matched it perfect.
And we did chop some things. She sent us some stuff, and we chopped it. She may have played the lick 3 or 4 times the same way, but slightly different. We did some chopping. We like this one, like that. We moved them around, changed some timing every now and then. That's what the tools let us do. What's that? Oh, processing?
Processing.
Oh, that's right. Good point. What did she send us by herself? Let's turn off the effects.
The guitar nudes.
This is what we got, nude.
Oh yeah, so she felt actually really quite shy about sending me such stripped, unprocessed stuff. But I specifically asked her to do that for me.
Well, that's tough because the tape never lies. If you ever, it's funny, people guitar shredders and stuff. Good guitar shredders like Steve Vai, Van Halen, etc., have ridiculously talented chops, but it's really easy to just move your fingers fast and have a bunch of echo, delay, reverb, chorus, and if you take that stuff up, you suddenly hear all the crap. And now I'm a classically trained saxophone player, and I learned all the technique. My time is solid, my pitch is good, the technique is there. I don't need to hide behind delay, and so, but to get there,
because I hate delay.
Exactly, yeah.
No delay in my songs ever.
No delay, but you have to practice and get better and better. and to share the raw, the nude audio is tough for some folks, and she did great. And so this is I'll kind of add the things as we did. So
Yeah.
what did I do in guitar rig here? This is a Clean Cave.
Oh, that's my favorite one. So cool.
Although
There's some delay there, but we're talking about vocals.
that's exactly
We're
what I was
talking
going to
about
say.
vocals.
Vocals.
No vocal delay. Let me specify. No vocal delay.
And you see that? How I ice paused, knowing exactly what Joe was going to say, and that was not rehearsed. She knew. That's just. And what else? So then we added some reverb on top of that. We added the chroma reverb. Again, Logic stock. Room with some 1.1 second delay. Very, very wet. And then I think I added some panning. Yes, Shaper Box. I used to use Pancake, but I haven't found the Pancake install that works with the current version of Logic. But it's the same folks that make Shaper Box, so they had this panning tool in Shaper Box. So what does that do?
It's awesome.
And then I got we did some mid-side EQ. So what we did here. And that's another thing we learned during this project. I never heard of mid-side. I heard some friends mention it on the Sinkhole server. I'm like, what the heck is mid-side? Okay, YouTube rabbit hole 3 days later. Okay, now I know mid-side. You can EQ the center of your mix, the mid, or you can EQ the sides of your mix. And so you want to get something out of the way of the vocal in the center. We'll just duck the frequencies, cut the frequencies out of the center, but you can boost them on the sides. So I got a couple of EQs going on here. Yeah, so we just did a couple of things, and chopping off highs and lows, etc. So, again, lots of stock stuff here. In fact, the only thing in this right now, the Shaper Box is not stock. That's a separate product. Click Shaper Box, cancel that, bada bing, bada boom. Awesome, so we got Kate's guitar going here. Turn that off. Zoom out session here. So what we got coming on?
Chorus 2, did we add anything new?
Nothing new. We got the bass down, getting the sub. Everything's
I just
the
did
same.
the vocals slightly different. It's different lyrics.
Different lyrics, and
there's something new. What's that purple thing on Kate?
There's something right here, up here.
Yeah, what's that one?
There's some strumming. What we got here?
Oh yeah, I love that one.
It's just an ear candy. Some crashes and impacts down here in the bottom. But it's subtle. It's not a big, massive impact. It's just, look at this right here. These little things, they add up. And that's called a white noise downlifter. And again, that's cymatics. I think the reverse riser, I think that might be a mobile sample. Let's go back in, continue. And listen to all this stuff here. Let's listen to the instrumentals for a second. And now we're going to bring orchestral strings coming in for our bridge.
That's what I love. This is where it starts to get more cinematic and more rockabilly.
Tell me where's the line between the present and...
Okay, so we got Kate coming in now doing some rock and roll riffs here. Let's
yes.
Let's
so
solo
we've
that
got
for a
the
second.
dirty strum,
Yeah,
and
we got
then
dirty
the
strum.
dirty solo. So
Dirty
I
solo.
told her to treat the section like a guitar solo and to just ignore me and to just play
Okay.
over me.
Got it.
And then she did this awesome stuff.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the instruction, but it worked out good. And then we can chop and slice as we need to. So let's solo that for. Now on this one, we didn't add any guitar rig. This is. Let me show you what she gave
that's
us
just her
on this
setup.
one.
It's
This is
super
her
cool.
setup, and I just added some color at the end. Here's raw. Very, very just raw. But it's dry, but it's got distortion and effects. So what I added was a little bit of chroma reverb again.
She's very generous to allow us this
Yeah.
color shaping.
Yeah, a lot of guitar players don't want you to touch it.
I know.
They say, "Here's how I want it," and I get that because You
Yeah.
work for years to develop your tone, your touch, your effects, and like when I record saxophone for people, as a side job, I will send them a pure dry, and I'll send them an example of what the effects could sound like. Because I've heard horrible delays and bad reverbs. I'm like, so here's what it could sound like, and I'll tell them what I did. Here's the tap
Here's what
delay.
it
Here's the
should
reverb.
sound.
Yeah, yeah. So here's what I think it should sound like if you want it. But if you want to use your own delays, here, blah blah blah. So yeah, it's you work towards your hard to develop your tone, just like a vocalist. You want your sound, and you don't want someone to mess that up.
Yeah.
So
I don't take it for granted that she lets me tweak.
she shares that with you. Yeah, she's being authentic, shall we say?
She's the best.
So we added a little bit of warm vibe here, a little bit of reverb, and then we also added some. This is I mentioned Mogul. I'm a music mogul earlier. He created a plugin that's basically a stereo spread. I use this on 808s all the time, and I think that's why he designed it. But I applied it on this, so let me turn it on and off. Off first. Now let's turn it on.
Damn.
There you go, add it, so that's that. And then we added some EQ to get it out of the way of your vocals, because you told her to ignore the vocals, so we cut her out of your vocal frequencies, and then...
But only in the middle, the mid side.
I think we just took it a hair down. Oh, we had to invert the phase, too, because we were having problems with it, and so we had to invert phase on hers. But all together...
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I did, too. I just noticed that when I brought the plugin up. So now together... Now we got power chords.
We only found that out because I was listening in mono.
That's right. It disappeared.
It had its benefits.
We couldn't hear it. I'm like, why can't we hear it? And then...
it was so quiet. I'm like...
Yeah, that's the thing. I could hear it on my side because I was stereo. But
I couldn't hear it on my side.
You're like, turn the guitar up. I'm like, it's loud. It's covering your vocal. And then I clicked, and then I put it in mono on mine. I'm like, it's gone. Flip phase, and it's back.
Yeah.
Tell me where is the line between the present and history? Tell me where is the line between my secrets and privacy?
So show me your EastWest Strings.
Just the strings. So
The
here's
EastWest.
Here's the EastWest Strings.
I love this stuff. It's so Art Deco. I love it.
It is. Even the plugin is. So there's not a lot going on here. So
I'm obsessed with your arrangement in this
thank you, dear. I've had so much fun doing this too. I mean, writing for strings is complex. It's you got to think about. There's rules.
I mean,
I know that Hans Zimmer doesn't think about rules, and he's one of my heroes. But to save myself some time, I'm kind of following voice leading and spacing for the voices, etc. What's we got here? Got the right track though. Just simple.
But effective.
Yeah. And then I add some other strings, and so we got a string section here, and I'm bringing in the BBC Symphony Orchestra. This is, I think, a $99 library that sounds amazing. So let's turn that off and turn this on. Here we go. And you'll see, I just caught that here on the left, all this stuff in the middle. So I got this wonderful plugin. I'll put a link in the description. This is a 3D, where's my cable? It's stuck. A 3D printed slider. I think this is $100. And so when I'm playing strings, I attach one to, you can see this here, modulation, expression, and volume. So when I'm playing strings on the right hand, I'm doing swells and downs, ups and down. And notice in the plugin down here on the right, you'll see that it's moving as I move. And so that's how you get realistic sounding strings. So if I go bring up my automation, let's do that here on this track. So I've got the modulation here. You got channel 1 is modulation. We've got expression, and then we've got volume as well. No, what's our velocity? So velocity is just, that's the key, how hard to put your key down. But these other two really come from the...
this is the
these
whole
are what,
song.
Exactly.
This is the heart of the whole song.
Yeah, so making the strings do this is very, very important. So if I bring the plugin back up and I move the sliders, look in the left of the screen here, and that's important. That makes things sound. Now, not every library it has that built in. Good libraries do, and that's how you make strings sound real, because you're bowing with different intensity and phrasing, etc. That's really, and there's tons of videos on how to make your strings sound realistic. But that's something that I do, and I got that little slider specifically for this project. So that's the string section, and BBC Symphony. This is such a great plugin from Spitfire, and it's got the orchestra laid out. So each of these instruments, the strings are in green. So your violin 1 is to the left, violin 2 center left, viola center right, cello far right, bass is far right, which is kind of weird for pop music because bass is always center. Then you've got all your trumpets, your loud trumpets over here. You got
We're
your horns.
doing alternatives, so we can do whatever we want.
Exactly. We can mess around. Your percussion in the back. So what I did here, to be somewhat authentic, not meaning to play on the words, well, when you're listening to an orchestra, if you're sitting in the audience, things are panned a certain way to be realistic, so let's pan those instruments. So let's go to my mixer, and if we go to my strings, so here's my violins and cello, etc. So these guys here, pan left, slightly right, right. So that keeps them realistic sounding. So let's listen to that.
And this is why I find myself so reliant on your musicianship, and why I think it's so critical for producers to be musicians with jazz. This is mission critical information.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You got to treat software instruments like they're real instruments. So if you've got a brass instrument or a woodwind instrument or a fake vocal, you got to give them places to breathe. We can't play Infinibo or Forever Voice or whatever.
Infinibo sounds like such a cute band name.
Infinibo or a superhero. I am Infinibo. So yeah, you got to treat them realistically. That's dynamics, that's phrasing, that's pausing to breathe, etc. So what else we got here?
Let's see. I think. Oh, and then we come in with the real cello.
Oh yeah, we do. We do have a real cello. That's near the end. So let's get to. We got the guitar solo going on. Oh, we got this big old build.
In my duplicity, cannot find.
And then you got Joy showing off her voice. I gotta share this. I know you want me to share, but I'm gonna share it. This is Joy's density, her endurance. This is like this 9-second note hold here.
It took me 3 days to get this take. 3 days.
Now that's 9 seconds of power vocals that gets louder at the end, and you see the space. That's not a breath. That's just a one syllable ending. Was then. So we got thenticity, and so that's all one big old breath.
So hard.
Got our sub bass.
I was almost defeated by that.
But you nailed it.
Truly.
I think you peaked it. You clipped.
I did. I clipped it. I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah, you got Molly Malone. The microphone shaking on metal on metal.
Oh my god! I didn't even have a nice shock mount. Like it was just slapped in there. It was horrible.
And without the vocals, we have here's musically what's going on. We're creating all this tension, and then there's a pause to give her a big smack impact, and all you have is that subsonic boom. And for the nerds in the house, there's a subtle change. We do 6/8, we go to 9/8 for just one measure. She added an extra beat to change the phrase. That's a great tip on how to make your music sound different. Don't do everything in 2s or 4s. Add something to make an odd number of beats unexpected to the ear, because you can get fatigue. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, and so adding that extra beat. And Joy just did this naturally. She just sang it that way. She put in.
I didn't know I did that.
You didn't know you did it, and I didn't
know I did that.
Oh, that's
I
another
a cadential extension. That's all I knew. Like, that's.
You know what it's called?
Fine.
Cadential extension. But for me, I didn't even say that.
I only know that because of clients that I work with other collaborators. They're like, we want a cadential extension. I'm like, what the hell is that? That's the only reason why I learned it. I was forced.
I forgot to say early on in the Bones version of this, I get your MIDI, I got your MIDI piano and your vocal, and then I had to go through and listen to it and create all these markers. And like, why is my cursor not on 2 and 4 anymore? Oh wait, she did this extension, and so that and of course I put it in there properly in the time state interspace. If I do this here, so you can see the little change to 9/8 real quick, and then back to 6/8 there. So
it's great that you know how to like put what I just did into musical terms. Because I don't have any of that. I feel it, I did it, but I could never tell you what I did. And you know what it is. I'm just
I hear it, and it's fine. And I also created a lead sheet, a PDF.
I never even heard of 9/8 time before. Is that even a real time signature?
It's just a different version of 3/4. It's a triplet version of 3/4. So now we're powering through. You got your big impact. Sing it. So we got Psycho Strings, we got Rock and Roll Guitar, we got Joy screaming.
Oh, and here comes R10.
Oh yeah.
He's also from Ukraine. He's incredible. Ruslan recommended him to me.
I didn't know that. And then so what we do
Yeah, they're
here,
friends.
that's referrals. Your referral network is important.
Yeah.
Find good workers and then give them work. So we're kind of breaking a pop music rule here, and we're doing a fade. You're not supposed to do fades.
Okay, do you know why I wanted to do that?
What's that?
Because I wanted this to be... Well, first of all, I couldn't come up with a button ending. That's number one.
Okay.
And number two is that I wanted this to be the last track of disc 1. And I thought it would be cute if it was on vinyl to have a fade that just felt like a nice way to have it not be done yet, because there's still going to be a disc 2.
There we go. See, people don't realize this is a double album.
Yeah.
So, very, very cool.
I can't help myself.
Turn that off there, and then we just fade out. So we got all the instruments here. We had the ear candy down here in the build up, and now we're fading out. But everything is here. It's all being faded.
Some are being faded more steeply than others.
Right.
And that's all
There's a master fade as well. Yeah. And
I love this song.
Yeah, I did. This is a fantastic track, and fantastic vocal, a lot of fun. We got rock and roll guitars, we got orchestral strings, we got subsonic booms, we got a bass with an octaver on it for big booty. We got a stacked kick drum, ear candy, psycho strings.
4 real musicians.
Yes, we're supporting the community. We got clean and not clean vocals, just for the one little extra word, and that's it.
Oh my god!
I can't wait for the world to receive it on.
June 28th.
June 28th. You have a specific time of day? How do we get this? Is this like...
So it's midnight at your region. That's how Spotify does it.
Okay.
So I was thinking, because I love... Would you just quickly play the orchestral only? Like piano and the strings in the end?
And the
I just love it so
chorus.
much.
Let's do that here. So this
It's incredible.
Let's do this here.
It makes you want to release an instrumental orchestral version. Like I actually would love to do that. To release an instrumental, like the whole thing instrumental, and the orchestral submix.
I'll keep the bass in there too. Let's see what we got here.
Is the piano there?
Oh, piano. My bad.
It's like Succession. This is all Paul. This is all Paul. I love it.
Yeah. I grew up listening to jazz and classical. Love me some Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Mozart. Beethoven's my favorite. But yeah, just I think strings are classy. Listening to classical music is a cool thing. I think it makes strings make things classy. I just love it. But thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, it'll be neat. I mean, Hans Zimmer is such a huge influence of mine. We do My Funny Valentine, which will be out next year, but it'll be on the project, the album, when the album gets released in August of this year.
Yes,
so you'll
but
get
we'll
it.
make it a single for February 14th next year.
Of course. But that's a big tip of the hat to Zimmer and Billie Eilish and the James Bond thing they did. But we'll show that one later on. We'll do a breakdown of that next year. Joy's got a whole timeline of stuff we do each month, and there's projects in her brain and on her wall, and yeah, there's a lot going on.
It's all dark, but you can't. We'll show another one. My calendars.
I think it's in the interview video I did with you. You can see it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Link in the description. Alrighty, well then, I guess we bring our session to an end, Joy. We're done.
Did you want me to play the original demo?
Yes. You've got the demo. Did you want to share your screen on that one?
Sure.
I'm going to stop sharing for a second. We'll switch.
So, this is probably version 2 already of the song, because I got inspired to write it in 2020, and this voice note is from 2021. I was really struggling to write this song, and you'll hear this is a 4/4 time, because the track we just played was 6/8, sometimes 9/8. This is 4/4 on the guitar, lying on the ground, very dramatic, very depressed. 5 minutes, like it's way too much. I cut some of this, but all the lyrics are almost the same. But it was just too sad. I wanted it to be more fun.
Is it still honesty? If I keep a little for myself, how many wounds
So weird to hear it like this.
on display?
It's like a country folk Americana.
Yeah.
If I keep a little for myself,
I like this upcoming melody.
I don't wanna let the dark swallow up the
Yeah,
light.
for sure.
I might reuse it for something else.
Downplaying the pain feels like
All these lyrics are the same.
people say I'm sweet, but I really don't know why. I feel my darkness growing every day.
It's a little different.
A little bit? Yeah, a lot.
I've lost count of fucks I've given, of things I've not forgiven, the curses of cast.
Totally different vibe.
I took the curses out of the second one.
Put a spotlight on the worst things I've done for authenticity. When I see how I'm perceived, it's like everyone has been deceived.
So when you're playing this, have you? You're not just making the lyrics right now. You give these thought, but are you reading it or is it on your head?
My head.
Wow.
I mean, lyrics are just something natural for me to remember.
I can't give myself permission. Pour my soul on empty pages, then say it's not good enough.
I like this part. I might use it for something else.
Crave the biggest stages, but I'm afraid of the lie. I've lost count of fucks I've given, and I like.
That's what I like. That it grew so much.
Yeah, it grew a lot, but this is gorgeous.
Do I have to put a spotlight?
It's just natural. It's authentic. It's just.
I don't know why I hated it so much back then. I mean, I'm glad that it became what it did. But I think I judged this too harshly.
Maybe we do this one as a side project. Maybe a Patreon bonus. Get access to the raw original or the new original.
promise I showcase my secrets just to write something real.
This reminds me of the Eva Cassidy recording. She's the one that died of cancer a few years ago. Amazing, amazing singer. I'll link that video for sure. It's one of my favorite. Oh, jeez. Okay, a little Taylor stepping in here. Reminds me of Taylor Swift there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
Melodically.
We just sing hymns, can karma be paid? Am I worthy of love if I've ever
Where's your microphone recording this? What are you doing?
Tell me where is the line between the present and history?
I'm lying on the ground, like very emo,
Where's the line
and it's on my hair as I turn my head.
It's your iPhone.
So it's right by my
Between the
face.
shadow and shine, can I restore my integrity? These heavy thoughts in my mind.
There's no big high note in this version.
No, there's no, yeah. It's very intimate, very authentic. I mean, it's just, you
It
need
might
to redo
even be
this
more
one.
authentic than the other one.
You need to redo this one. Re-record it. Not redo it, re-record it.
Maybe I will. You know, this could be a great thing to be a bonus track on like a deluxe version of the album.
Yeah, absolutely. Food!
I'm gonna be done in 2 minutes and then I can eat this with you together.
Allowed to let go.
I love being taken care of.
Yes, you're being pampered by a man that can cook. That's awesome. Look at that. That's. Oh, we got to. I think that needs to be recorded properly. It's gorgeous. It's great. It's totally different. It's weird hearing the same lyrics in a completely different idiom. But yeah, I think that's something that definitely needs to be done.
Songwriting is such a strange.
It just blows my mind that you sat down, laid down, and you sang that whole song, all the lyrics in your head. And you wrote the lyrics, obviously, but to remember them, that's crazy to me. I'm not a vocalist. I'm not a lyricist. You're great at both. And then to remember them and get to the whole song, that's crazy.
I can't remember chords at all.
See, I got that no problem. That's why we do well together.
That's exactly right.
Well, go ahead and quit your share real quick, and we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
Wow, that was a lot of fun. I can't wait to clean this thing up and get it out published for folks to enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy it. And I know we get distracted through tangential.
Oh, but it's,
You know,
that's who we
stories,
are.
but
you know?
I think it's more fun like that. So
No, yeah, I mean these breakdowns are musical and they're producing, but they're also collaboration, relationship stuff. This is how you and I work all the time. So I hope and pray that all you out there watching that want to collaborate can find a collaboration that is as enjoyable as this one is to me. This is a lot of fun. Now, Joy, you need to go because your husband's back and he's
Yes, I do
feeding
need to
you.
go
When
now.
it's time for you to go, give
I
things some
need to go.
attention. Okay, thanks for so much. Sorry it took so long, but we'll talk to you soon. What's that? Look at that gyoza. Oh, yum, yum. I love me some gyoza.
thanks so much for watching.